Good morning, everyone. As you know, we're in North Carolina, so we got a little taste of summertime this week with highs in the 70s and almost 80s one day. On Tuesday, I took my laptop outside and was doing some work, and lo and behold, I got a lot of sun, and it felt great. I love being outside, and I really am appreciative of the opportunity to be able to work outside, not maybe like rigorous labor, but mental rigorous labor is what I was doing. But the weather had me thinking about non attachment and the weather, right? So, non attachment is a guideline or a concept, a mindset, a state of mind, a philosophy, a principle, however, you want to view it. At the least, it's a practice. And non attachment, it can be applied to anything. So if you think about your internal turbulence or suffering being that of an origin through attachment, right? So if I'm taking the weather, for example, and I become miserable today because today, Saturday, we have plummeted from 80s into the 40s again. And so that's a drastic change, but I know certain people. Hi, buddy. He's got his Kong. I know certain people who are in my life and they would be beside themselves. We all know people like that. Sometimes even, I'm like that. That's why they call it a practice. Just reading the concept doesn't make it so. But by practicing non-attachment to different things in life, Eli, what are you doing, bud? You can't chew on that. You can't chew on that. Look at his. Oh, what are you doing? No. We're messing things up now. Set that down there. So, non-attachment to the right, we're using the weather as the example. But it can be applied to a conversation that you just had. The food that you just ordered. Perhaps that be you're not attached to whether they have the side item you want. Perhaps that is non-greed. So there's different translations of the practice. You guys have to see this crazy kid. Okay, I got a little Blair Witchy on you there. But non-greed being that you're not so attached to having it all or, hoarding it and becoming possessive over it, so that you don't share or you don't let things move through and let things flow. By learning about the practice of non-attachment, it helped me with the concept of being more like water. So if you consider yourself to be a rigid person, one who perhaps is disagreeable in nature, if you consider yourself to be stubborn. Non-attachment is your passport away from that. You know, those are not traits or qualities that people strive to be. I've never met a person who's like, Renee, I'm really trying to be more stubborn. If you could help me with that, that'd be great. I haven't met that person. Instead, we find that people would rather be more agreeable by nature, would rather let things flow, understanding that there's a natural ebb and flow to life. And that non-attachment, whether it be, here's the biggest one for me. I'll share this one. Non-attachment to outcomes. That application of how it translates into everyday life is the most beneficial to me, because I, as you know, I struggled early on with anxiety in my 20s. And now, whereas it's something that will always be sort of there, it's not in the driver's seat. It's, maybe in the back seat or in a different car, really. A car that I left at home, but it's still there. And even if not, I still have this, this tendency about me, because I notice that when I talk to other people, different people respond differently. And that's something I find so fascinating, because for me, it's a matter of, well, if you're not struggling with this, what concept, tools, skills, coping mechanisms are you firing in your mind in order to be okay? And better yet, not just okay, but thrive in spite of it. So for non-attachment, that is that thing that I'm firing, is that, okay, there's this situation that arises. X, Y, and Z happen. It goes through your interpretation, your lens, your frame of reference, through how you view things. Triggers emotions, triggers thought patterns, beliefs, and perhaps worries. Perhaps just analytical, logical arguments that if X happens, B is, Z is Y, if X happens, Y is bound to happen, kind of thing. However you want to, things happen, right? There's just this cascade of, it's almost like that game, just that, where one thing is triggered and then a whole, I can't think of the word right now, a whole set of things happen after that, right? Not quite like domino, something a little bit more intricate than that, but that's what happens when situations arise in our life, okay? And when you can find the space, when you can create the space between stimulus and response, then you can insert the idea of non-attachment. And when you talk to yourself about that, because you're going to talk to yourself, it's going to happen. This Del Val cup that I got when I spoke there, I actually have two because we spoke there twice, It's one of my favorite mugs. It's one of my favorite mugs, and I'm so happy that the Pre-Veterinary Club gave us these because they're so cute, firstly. But okay, I'm not going to turn that around because my hand just doesn't work that way. But they're so cute, but I really like the shape. I really like the shape. So this is one of my favorite mugs that I drink from all the time. So back to non-attachment being inserted in a situation, it's something that can free you. It's something that can reduce the suffering that can happen when you're super attached to a person, an outcome, a situation, a thought pattern, an expectation. Because you're so attached to that expectation that when things don't go that way, you lose your shit. I don't want to be that person. I've been that person. I'm all set. So consider, just consider that concept a little bit today. If you're curious, I know I didn't really go deeply into it as far as how or, what it is, but I feel like 10 minutes is a good start to just introduce the concept of non-attachment and play a little bit with Eli and myself this morning and have a little fun with us. So like I said, I'm going to make some videos for you guys. It's not always going to be 100% professional because I like talking with you, and it's more about the message than how Renee looks. And I think we get caught up a lot in the production value of things, and we lose what's important. So enjoy your weekend. I would be curious to find out how you guys apply the concept of non-attachment in your lives this weekend. And if you're curious on more about it. Have a good one, you guys. Bye-bye.